Hello. Welcome to another plan with me. My July plan with me to be exact. It has been a while since we've had one of these, Part of my mess. I'm just cleaning up my confetti here. I love that confetti, by the way. I made it myself. All you gotta do is use a hole punch to cut out a bunch of circles out of your favorite colors of cardstock and add in some fun, glittery star sequins you picked up from Hobby Lobby. And you have your own DIY confetti. Welcome. Hi. God, I've missed doing this. It's been so nice. It was so nice to sit down with my bullet journal for like an hour and a half and just do this stuff because my brain has been all sorts of muddled lately. I've been very, very busy, but my energy and focus has been super scattered. And so I've been meaning to sit down with my bullet journal for a while now and just sort of start to sort everything out. I didn't go into like hella detail in this spread. Like I'm definitely going to want to go into in like other spreads and just sort of as I work my way through the coming month. But it's a great starting point for me to sort of get my head on straight and figure out what I want to prioritize and what I want to think about this month. Because also I'm going to apologize for planes and cars and things, because when one lives in the middle of the city, one has to deal with a lot of ambient urban noise, so do forgive me. Grab yourself a cup of tea, some sweet tea if it's hot where you are. It is surprisingly very cool in Seattle. We're gonna be in like the high 60s for the next week, and then next week we jump back up to the high 70s, but I'm wearing a sweater today at the end of June. Like, my Texan heart is not accustomed to this. I digress. So, for July, for the time ahead, the main thing that I've been thinking about and that I'm focusing on is consistency. Because I think that is my biggest weakness when it comes to being an artist / like creator / whatever it is that I do, because I get, when creativity is your job and stuff, I get very inspired at very random intervals, and so I tend to work in very like short frantic bursts, and my work days are very unstructured because I'm sort of at the whim of my inspiration, and as a result, and right now, I think that since I am a bit of a newbie to this whole illustration game, I need to be consistently producing. Right now, especially, I want to work on stuff to go in my portfolio. And I have quite a few things that I'm proud of and that I can put in my portfolio, but like ideally that's not the type of work that I want to do professionally. Like I would really love to design book covers. And I would love to that's kind of the main thing. And then of course, I want to develop new stuff for my shop and things, but kind of right now I want to, and like okay, I'm going to tell you right now that this is going to be very rambly and my thoughts are going to be a bit disjointed. Because I'm still figuring out what I want to do professionally, and also right now, in terms of my artistic journey, I'm in a bit of a interim period because my style is changing so much, because I have been drawing so much, and because I've been creating a lot. My artistic style has been going through a lot of changes, and so I feel like I'm being very inconsistent, so I'm having a bit of an identity crisis about who I am as an artist. So for the month ahead, I'm like, okay, well, where do I want to focus my energy? I toyed with the idea of doing like a 30-day drawing challenge. I'm also trying to figure out, this month, I'm going to make it a point to upload every single week to YouTube. Going to try out like a certain format for that. Also trying to figure out like certain processing days for my shop. So like what day do I spend packing orders and what day do I spend restocking stickers? So I'm going to dedicate this month to sort of recalibrating and refocusing and trying out new work systems and seeing what works for me. So in terms of my like artistic career, I'm trying to figure out like, I guess I'm just trying to figure out how I want to move forward. The main thing is that I want to have my portfolio done by the end of the summer, which is very doable. Because I don't start rehearsals for my next show until August 20th. And I'm virtually free until then. So I'm trying to figure out what I want in my portfolio. And I want like sort of like landscape pieces, like, my little mini landscapes that I put up on my Etsy shop. I want to do some book cover type things. I'd love to do like, more sort of, see, this is the thing. I don't really know, save for like making book covers and stuff, I don't really know what other directions I want to take with my illustration. And like Fran was talking about this in her Patreon podcast newsletter, and how like she has a very, non-traditional career. And so, but I've been, looking at a lot of people on Twitter and following a lot of different artists and stuff, and it's hard because when you don't fall into a traditional sort of definition of an artistic career, it feels very easy to kind of lose your way. So in my portfolio, like, okay, if I want certain things in my portfolio, or these are the things that I want to showcase people, then what kind of work do I want to focus on, and what kind of stuff do I want to make? Blah. It's very tricky. And also that ties into the fact with like being a creative person, with creativity being my job and everything. How do I balance between making stuff for myself, making stuff for other people, making stuff for, social media or whatever, and taking care of myself and not burning out and all that type of stuff, which is a balance that I'm also trying to find, because one of my other favorite illustrators, Rebecca Green, she has a blog, and she talks about how she went through this like really intense period of burnout, and so she got sick of, drawing and creating and everything, and as a result, she was burnt out on that, but she kept like a personal art journal, like a personal visual art journal, which is just for herself, and she was still doing that every day, and because that wasn't like artistically taxing on her, because it was something that she was just doing for herself, which I think is super valuable, to have a creative space that belongs to you and doesn't belong to, or that you don't feel like you're going to share to an audience or post on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. So I did start visual journaling after reading that blog post, and it's been really nice, because now I have this journal where I can just draw whatever I want, and it might look really ugly, and I don't care, and it's great. So it's nice to have that. It's nice to have that sort of a space where I have that kind of freedom. I realize I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I've been thinking about so much stuff lately, and a lot of stuff like my creativity lately, and I want to share that with y'all. And I've been so Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this in Big Magic, where inspiration, your muse, is like a being that kind of like comes and goes. And the important thing is that when inspiration does show up, it has to find you working, which ties back into the whole consistency thing. Because if I'm only working when inspiration comes to visit, then, I won't be warmed up for them. I won't be in like a space of flow for them to collaborate with me. So heaven forbid inspiration come knocking at my door and finds me sitting on my couch playing Persona or watching Dan and Phil's Undertale Let's Play for the umpteenth time on YouTube, and inspiration comes to my door and is like, yo, I'm ready to work. What are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. So then I have to waste time getting myself, ready to work with it. Whereas like what I would love is that it knocks on my door and it already finds me at my desk drawing. And then it's like, oh, dope. Let me help with that. And I'm like, great. Thank you. So that's the ideal scenario. So that's what I'm going to spend this month working towards. So I'm going to, get up and go to bed at the same time every day, have like set working hours. That has been my biggest issue as a freelancer / self-employed person, is setting my own work hours. Self-discipline has been really hard for me to cultivate. So, I think I'm going to go into this month with the idea of self-discipline and consistency. Because if I don't take myself seriously as an artist, then no one else is. And it's hard for me because, again, I'm very, acting. Oh, that was my hip popping. Hello. I am full of creaky bones. But, my acting, note like the back of my hand. That's, that's a field I'm very comfortable with. But, art and illustration and this whole sort of new realm that I've gone into, properly within the last year, I would say, I'm still super uncomfortable in. But the thing is that if I don't take myself seriously as an artist, then no one else is going to. So yeah, that's kind of just what I'm trying to keep in mind this month. Also, when I made this spread, I tried to not overthink it, and I tried not to think I'm gonna post this on Instagram. It needs to be super hashtag aesthetic and gram friendly. I was like, no, I'm not gonna overthink things, and I'm just gonna put shit down in a way that I think looks good and that serves me well. And I think I definitely succeeded in that. I'm really happy with the way that these 2 pages turned out. I'm trying to create more for myself as opposed to worrying about how it'll look, in the big old realm of the internet, in the ether of the interwebs. Because that's not to say that I think that any of the work that I do post on social media or anything is inauthentic, but it is definitely influenced by a little, knocking voice in the back of my head, reminding me that what I'm working on is going to be seen. So I'm trying to just make stuff. But yeah, man, that was quite a rant. I hope that was okay. By the way, I will have all of the artistic credits and stuff for the pictures and stuff I used in the doobly-doo. As per usual, that gouache landscape painting is by an artist called Carrie Shryock, who I've been so inspired by lately. I've also been really inspired by Steven Universe, which I'm all caught up on, and I'm losing my mind. I cannot wait for new episodes. Yeah. So, it felt so good to sit down and bullet journal again. I cannot express it enough. I think I might really proper get back into it this month, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah, and then now we've got all our little detail shots and stuff. I hope that I know I went on a tangent today, but I hope it was okay. If y'all want me to talk more about this, I'd love to, because I go on about it for probably a very long time. So, yeah, but that's all I have for you today. I love you a lot. I think you are the bee's knees, quite frankly. And I promise I will see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Shout out to my patrons for being dope as hell. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.